So good morning, everyone. I'm Janice Kloosterman. I'm part of this community, Center for Spiritual Living. I've been here for many years and took my practitioner training with Reverend Judy. And if we can start this morning with the opening affirmation. If you can read it with me. With an open heart, I enter into this experience. I rejoice in it all. Friends, family, giving and receiving. Most of all, I acknowledge the gift of spirit as my innermost truth. And so it is. So children, or Edith and the band, if you can.
Crested. It's on page 77 in your books if you want to stand up and sing along with us. Life should be joyful, and it's at the near the. I don't think it has a number. It's near the end of your book there. Sorry. Life should be joyful.
And the words and music are by Edith.
Page 131.
Oh, it is. Okay, I should write that down next time. Remind me to write it down. 130. Okay.
Be joyful, life should be fun, but if I don't like what I see, then it's my responsibility to do the work that I need to change my reality. When I fall
children come up? Do you girls want to come up? No, not today? Okay, that's okay. Okay, so the word today, oh, better put it up. Okay. The word today is belonging. So how about one of you, do you have anything on belonging? Can I go down there? I know somebody who will know about belonging. Pearl, what does it mean to belong?
To my friend.
To be a part of being a friend?
Yes.
Exactly. I think so. Thank you. Do you girls have something that think belonging is? That's okay. I think Pearl's right. It's being a friend. So belonging, everyone wants to feel like they belong to something or someone special. It doesn't take much for someone else to feel like they belong. It makes you feel important too, doesn't it? So our affirmation today is, I know that I am important and belong. I tell others they are too. Can you all say that together? I know that I am important and belong, and I tell others they are too. So today we are doing our Christmas bureau over there. And when does the box get picked up, Judy? Sorry? So we have a couple more weeks. Sorry? Okay. So around the 16th of December, we will be dropping the box off. They'll be picking up the box. Okay. So December 16th at 6 p.m. we have in the sanctuary we have the Christmas carol and candle lighting. And on December 18th, we're lucky that life has come back to normal and we get to have a potluck again. So that was so nice. Last weekend I saw it started up, and on the 16th again. So bring yourself, bring your appetite. December 14th, they need one more person to help with bingo, so if you're able to help. We got the one more person? Yay. So we've got a full thing full of people now, we're good. On December 31st, Reverend Joanne is going to be doing a World Peace Meditation here at 5:30 in the morning, so get up early and you'll be ready, and you get to have a breakfast, and then there's regular service that'll follow at 11 a.m. And were you asking something? Regular service it starts on I see, World Peace. It's actually January 1st is the World Peace at 5:30 in the morning. Okay, the World Peace Meditation actually starts at 5:30 in the morning on January 1st. And then the service to follow. Thank you. Ruth, can you come up and read the Science of Mind this morning? Thank you.
Longing to belong. Today the reading is Longing to Belong. The beloved community unfolds as us. That's from Jim Lockhart, The Beloved Community. And Ernest Holmes, Living the Science Mind, says, what would happen if we could convert the energy of fear to faith, the energy of doubt and uncertainty into a feeling of belonging to the universe and being safe in it? The spiritual path can be a lonely one. I spent nearly 20 years in my quest for community until I stumbled into Centers for Spiritual Living in Kelowna, Canada. That snowy morning, I awoke determined to visit this community I had heard about. When the battery died on my car, I found another way to get there. Nothing deterred me. Not knowing a person there, I believed myself to be the outsider, and I acted the part. I didn't talk to anyone, didn't make eye contact, simply slipped in and just as quickly slipped out. And yet something struck me as I listened each week to the talks, and I realized I wasn't an outsider here. While I didn't know anyone, I felt I knew the soul of everyone as expressed in this space. And in that awareness, I cracked open right there in the seat. A congregant approached me, gently asked if I was okay. Here it was, right in front of me, simple kindness and speaking heart to heart. In that moment, I knew I was home. My false belief that I could be an outsider dissolved as I felt my sense of separation vanish amid community. The affirmation today is, my heart recognizes the soul of life operating through my day. I belong.
Thank you. And now, it's my honor to introduce my lovely friend, mentor, and the supports that I have had over many years, and the supports that we've all had is in the center, Reverend Judy Andersen.
Thank you, Janice.
Thank you.
Well, it's been a long time since I've been up here, but so let's begin with a spiritual mind treatment. Right here and right now, I know that there is a power for good in the universe. I know that that power works by working through us. I know that each of us have the right to call upon it. And as we believe, so it is done unto us. And today I choose to know the highest and greatest good for each of us in our path through this life experience and on to the next and the next and the next. For that which we call our God or our good is always with us as an inner presence, supporting, guiding, directing, laughing with us, crying with us, giving us the wisdom of the infinite, the blessings of the infinite, the ability to do and to be exactly who we are, which is the greatest gift possible. I give loving thanks, knowing it is so, and so it is. And so, since the last time I saw you, I've been having a few adventures. I got on several airplanes that got me to Lisbon, and got on a ship with only 100 passengers and about the same number of crew, and we sailed up a river through Portugal and eventually by bus into Spain and back again. But I have to tell you that one of the highlights of that trip was after we got to the end of where the boat took us and we were bussed into a city called Salamanca in central Spain. My body, which keeps insisting that I'm older than I want it to be, didn't want to walk the streets of that city for 2-3 hours of free time. So I sat on a bench and I watched the people. And I watched people. This was a Saturday. Well, we got there, I guess, about 10 o'clock in the morning. And I watched people walking their dogs, lots of dogs. I was able to make friends with a couple of them. And the people were, you know what you do on a beautiful early fall day, let's say the temperatures was around 18 degrees Celsius, so it was a lovely day really. And they were doing their Saturday morning thing, stopping in this wonderful cafe for a cup of hot chocolate, which was like drinking melted chocolate bars. It was so thick and rich. So that, and a pastry that was about that big, like that was mid-morning snack. But sitting there and watching these people, including a wedding party, our bus dropped us off in a square right in front of City Hall, so we saw the beginning of the wedding, and we were back to see the end of it, so that was pretty cool. But the big thing is sitting there, watching people having their coffee and their pastry, up and down the streets, walking their dogs, a little bit of shopping, a little bit of visiting. I had this great awakening. If I sit in Red Deer on a beautiful day, let's say they were on a bench in the middle of Red Deer on a lovely day, and I see people walking along. I might be downtown on the patio on Ross Street or Gates Avenue, and I would see people going for coffee and maybe a pastry, maybe walking their dogs and visiting and shopping. And if I do that in Athens, or if I do that in Istanbul, if I do that in Amsterdam, if I do that in London, guess what? We're all the same. It doesn't change a lot. Because in those places too, I saw the same kind of things. The only thing that really changed was the language. So imagine, we all around this planet, on a beautiful day, people are doing the same things, having similar experiences. And you know why? It's because every person belongs. And it's only the words coming out of our mouth that separate us from these others that are really not others. When those others come here, we become others. And there really is no such creature. And this is blending into what we did in meditation this morning that came out. And it was like talking about the universe, the manifest universe, as a giant jigsaw puzzle. And every one of us, every being on this planet, every blade of grass, every grain of sand, is a piece of that jigsaw puzzle that is the universe. And if any one of us were missing, if any grain of sand were missing, that jigsaw would be incomplete. So how do we know that we belong, first of all, to the universe that we live in? We're integral to it. We have to be here or the universe would be incomplete. So you belong. I belong. The person walking that tiny, cute little dog in Santiago belongs. The dog belongs. The people selling that super rich hot chocolate, I drank it, but I could barely do it. But pardon me if I stop. I'm still having problems with coughing. But here, the trips I've made and all of the traveling I've done comes back to the central point. There is no other. There is only other spirits having their own individual experiences in this one planet, in this one universe. We are all one. We all belong. And oh, bless you, Janice. Thank you. That's just what I need. I forgot to mention the other gift I brought home from my trip. after managing, here we are, two octogenarians. My sister-in-law is 84, or I'm 82, and we were in and out of 5 airports in a little over 24 hours to get ourselves home. It was a long time, and we both came home sick. And I had to start with a cold. Starting with that day, I sat in San Diego and drank that rich chocolate. And Barb only started after we got home, but we both wound up with COVID. And now she's fine, but I'm still hacking. And whether it's long COVID or another infection, I don't know. It just, the bunny, I forget the name of the Ever Ready? Yeah, the bunny anyway that keeps going. So I've got that thing that keeps going, but I have decided I keep going too. Anyway, that's just the way it is. But the belonging thing, I don't know, I expect many of you to have had the experience at times of feeling you didn't belong. Now, I had that feeling as a child. I grew up as the youngest of 4, and for whatever reason, I never really felt that I belonged in my family, that I was hanging on by the skin of my teeth. And somehow or other, that idea lasted me throughout a lot of my school life, a lot of my younger life. And it's really strange. There was no outer reason for it. It was totally an inside thing. But how do you deal with it? Is there anybody who has never had that feeling of not belonging? I'm sure we have. Yeah. And it's, how do we deal with it? Well, I managed all right. I had a pretty good life. But I didn't ever really deal with that until one day in November of 1992, I walked into the Center for Positive Living, it was called at that time. And I had my experience, very similar to what Ruth read to us out of the Science of Mind magazine. But I walked in because 2 people had been bugging me that I had to go to the Center for Center for Positive Living. And I finally went. I mean, I was a realtor. I was working 7 days a week. Sunday morning was my weekend. But I finally gave in and I went. And this one person who had been urging me to come, he was there, and that was great. And to have one person I knew. The other person that had been bugging me about it, I've never seen him to this day at the center. But he ran into a lady and fell in love, didn't feel the need of the center anymore, I guess. But I walked in that day and I heard Reverend Doug talking about a way of spirituality rather than religion. And I was hooked. And at the end of the service, when everybody stood holding hands and saying, I love myself the way I am, well, as a realtor, I was carrying a pager, and when the tears started flowing, I pretended I had a message and ran out to the bathroom because I was embarrassed. But that was my day of belonging. And it still makes me emotional when I remember that at that time I could not sing I Love Myself without crying. And that lasted for several weeks. I was like that. But let's say that I knew that that is where I belonged, that was my spiritual home at that point in my life. I'd had a place I belonged when between the time I was 12 and 22 or so, I was a good Mormon. And I led the Cub Pack and I taught Sunday school and I was really great in it until my mind started insisting that there was too much world The world was too big to confine it to this particular set of beliefs and limitations that the structure of that church wanted to put upon its members, and who I should associate with, where I should go, and whatever. My words for it were the world was too big to be little. So I stopped my association with that, and I didn't have another church experience until I got here, until I got to the center. But what I'm getting at is that, especially as a teenager, I had a real spiritual connection in the Mormon church. The spiritual me was alive and well and thriving. And I didn't have that experience again until I came to the Center for, at the time, Positive Living, now Spiritual Living. But that is the idea of belonging, and most of us are here because of that. And be aware that if I start coughing and can't stop, you are all going to be doing the service. Oh yeah, I've got a plan. But the big thing is about belonging, that we all come into this earth life, this earth experience, with that longing to belong, whether it's in our families, whether it's in a peer group, at school, in a team, whatever. We all want to belong to someone or some group or whatever. It's simply, we're not created to be on our own. And if we take our science of mind philosophy to that, it's thus that the reason we really have the longing to belong is that we were never created as separated individuals, that in fact the entire manifest universe is the body of God, the body of infinite mind, whatever you want to call it, and that as such, each one of us are created out of that. And because of that, we are in reality one substance, one mind, with the appearance of individuality, but still with a longing to be reconnected with the whole. Make some sense? We know at some level of our being that we are one with distant space, with the trees and the rivers and the oceans. We're one with the creatures and the grass, and most of all, one with our fellow beings. And that oneness is at a deeper level than we have ever, than most of us have ever believed possible, that we truly came out of one substance and one mind. And that no matter what the outer circumstances may appear, each one of us does belong, because we are part of the fabric, an integral piece of the puzzle, without which all of life would be incomplete. Is that enough to convince you that you belong? I have to work at it a little bit myself. I always have had, but that's all right. I'm getting better and better. Maybe by the time I hit 92, I'll be further along the path. Now, we're into December, and we're getting into all of the Christmas run-up, but there are so many other celebrations in December. One of them is on December 8th is Bodhi Day, a Buddhist holy day, which is celebrated in Japan. And the tradition includes starting the day by decorating not a fir tree, but a ficus tree, a fig tree, and which can be an indoor plant in Canada. But that is called the Tree of Awakening. And They decorate it with strings of multicolored lights, sounds familiar, and beads symbolizing the varied paths to nirvana and signifying the unity of all. Sound familiar? It's the recognition that makes this practice come to life. In your seat right now, you belong. You are of spirit. You're on your way to nirvana. You are a being of light. You are part of the whole. You are belonging wherever you are in whatever setting. And here are some brilliant words. You don't have to be any different than you are to belong. Does the jigsaw puzzle have to put on bells and whistles to fit in the puzzle? The puzzle needs it just the way it came. Simply being you is enough, without any extras. Edith, without the gift that she brings us of music, if Edith just came to be with us as Edith, as a mother, as a grandmother, as a being with that name and that beauty, Edith would be enough. Even if she never opened her mouth, even if she never offered a hug, she would still be enough just as she is. And that's true of each one of us. We don't have to stretch for it. We don't have to work out every day to get there. But if we can relax into being exactly who we are without feeling the need to put on any bells and whistles, that is enough. And part of being enough is simply to be who we are in the ways that offer whatever gifts we have, offer those gifts to the world, but relaxing about it. Not feeling that we have to prove ourselves in every situation. Did anybody who walked in the door of this center, did you ever feel you had to prove something, or that you might not belong because you might not be this enough or that enough? Did you ever walk into this center and feel that you were rejected or that you weren't welcome? And if you did feel that way, guess what? It probably had nothing to do with the welcome you were given. It probably has everything to do with your own internal beingness, not being ready to be accepted, not permitting yourself to be loved exactly as you are. Did you know there are people who are so resistant that they simply can't accept love no matter how much is offered to them, that they can't accept it because they haven't learned to love and accept themselves exactly as they are. And that is really a very sad thing, because it's something that we can't teach. I can't teach you how to love yourself. You have to do it. It's between yourself, your outer voice, and your inner voice, and connecting to that power and that spirit within you that is love and that is grace. And if that connection can't be made, there's no way that you can love and accept yourself as belonging wherever you are, until you can light that spark and make that connection. What is the most likely way to be able to get there? I think meditation. Many, many forms of meditation. I know one of our members does walking meditations. In good weather at least, she's out walking and meditating. I find it easiest to get to doing spoken meditation, if I'm just silent, my head stays way too busy and I'm not able to get to the peace that I desire. There's study, look up, Google meditation, find all the ways of meditation and ways to get there, ways to connect with your soul, if you will, where you can truly find out that what you really are is holy. One of our songs says, I am wholly holy and nothing but. So that sense of belonging that many of us felt when we walked into the Center for Spiritual Living, because it mirrored the kind of spiritual beliefs that were natural to us, that fit for us, when we felt that belonging, that gave us a new view on life, a new understanding of ourselves, and it was a grace to get to that point. But guess what? People find that in the Catholic Church. People find that in all of the Protestant churches. People find that in the Mormon Church. People find that in Hinduism, in Buddhism, in Judaism, and all of the isms. There are people who find their belonging when they find the place that resonates with them. If you've got a tuning stick, your own tuning stick, and you've got to find what that tuning stick vibrates to. Find what calls your name, what is in tune with who you are. That's what we need. A lady named Renee Brown says, because true belonging only happens when we present our authentic, imperfect selves to the world. Our sense of belonging can never be greater than our level of self-acceptance. Isn't that big? Our sense of belonging can never be greater than our level of self-acceptance. So I know that everybody here has a lovely level of self-acceptance, and it is growing. If we feel it's only yay big, just know that it is growing with every time you walk into your family, you walk into the center, and you give and receive hugs, you give and receive love. Your sense of self-acceptance is growing. I guess what? It'll grow into self-love of all the awful things that I could love and accept myself exactly as I am. And here comes the challenging part of this today's talk. I would like us all to repeat 5 times out loud, I love, and I think it's a Louise Hay affirmation, I love and accept myself exactly as I am. All right, number 1. I love and accept myself exactly as I am. Number 2. I love and accept myself exactly as I am. Number 3. I love and accept myself exactly as I am. 4. I love and accept myself exactly as I am. Number 5, I love and accept myself exactly as I am. And because I love and accept myself exactly as I am free to love and accept you and you and you and you and you and you exactly as you are. And so it is. Thank you.
Can I add to that? I love, accept, appreciate, and approve of myself exactly as I am.
Hooray!
Hello. Good morning. Thank you, Reverend Judy. That impactful message, and I trust that we all feel that we belong here. And my story was similar to yours, walking in and knowing that I had found my place that I wanted to be, and that's 34 years ago. So I know the feeling. So let us read our prosperity affirmation together. Today I live in gratitude, knowing that spirit is limitless and my experience of it is limitless. I give freely. I am open to a free flow of good to me, through me, and from me. I feel truly blessed, and so it is. And there's a basket at the front here if you'd like to make your donation that way. There are pre-authorized giving plan that is available and online. And I'll introduce our ladies that are singing, and we will hear from you now. What would you like to sing?
It's written by Lucille Olson.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Be careful what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes our prayer. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes our prayer.
Thank you. So let us read our closing affirmation together. It's in your brochure. Joyously I go about the work of the Spirit, which is my indwelling truth. All that I do is blessed and prospered, and my very existence is a blessing to my family, my community, and my world. With gratitude, I acknowledge good in all my affairs, and so it is. And Edith again, page 33, I love myself. If you would like to join in, you may stand if you so choose.
You like?
And old hands, yes.
Love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange.
And now I ask Gord to do the closing treatment.
Well, thank you very much. And I know that there was one infinite intelligence throughout all there is infinite intelligence that is the creator of all. I call this intelligence God. And I am so glad that I am able to belong with such a wonderful group of God's creation right here in this room. Thank you so much for allowing me to belong with all of you wonderful, wonderful people. I give great thanks for all that we do and all that we share. I know more great is coming our way, and so it is.
And so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Gord. And now we will proceed with our closing song, Yes, There Is Peace on Earth, page 114.
Yes, there is peace on earth as it has begun with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator, as family all are we. As we walk with each other in perfect harmony, peace has begun with me, and this is the moment now. Every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me.
We'd like to take a moment and sing happy birthday, guys. For all those who had birthdays in, was
Everybody,
it in November? Whoever had birthdays in November, get in the circle. Go in the circle there, Pearl. Okay? Well, it's Pearl's birthday today.
Well, she's December, not November.
December, yes, December.
But we didn't do November.
We
so
didn't do
anybody in
November, so we're including her in November. Is that okay?
Can we do it in that F?
F? F, happy birthday is under happy birthday.
We'll do the C. We'll do the C there.
That's it.
You're going too far. You have to go. Okay.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear friends. Happy birthday to you.
many more.
And we'll do the happy birthday song too. The
Happy birthday.